Hello， 大家好啊，歡迎收睇 The Do Show。如果要數26年影壇最矚目嘅作品，一定有呢套改編自荷馬史詩，由神級導演 Christopher Nolan 所執導嘅神話巨著 The Odyssey。故事咧就係講述特洛伊戰爭之後，英雄 Odysseus 咧就係經歷咗10年充滿神怪同埋考驗嘅返鄉之旅。咁呢部戲唔單止係用咗高達2.5億美金嚟到製作嘅，全片咧仲係用咗 IMAX 技術嚟到拍攝嘅。今日嘅 Do Show 咧好榮幸啦，可以同導演 Christopher Nolan 傾下偈之外咧，仲有戲中好多位演員，包括有 Matt Damon、Anne Hathaway、Tom Holland、Zendaya、Samantha Morton、Himesh Patel 同埋 John Leguizamo。好，即刻咧為大家送上訪問。I'm Do Show from Hong Kong, and my YouTube channel is called The Do Show. And it's a huge honor to meet you, Mr. Christopher Nolan.
Thank you.
You've called this your most ambitious movie. And I'd like to know, I watched it already. I'd like to know for you, which shot or scene is the most difficult or hardest to get it right on camera without relying on CG?
There's a shot in the film where we're in the middle of a storm and one of Odysseus' crew gets swept off the deck by a wave. It's shot. It's actually been in all the trailers and everything. I'm very, very pleased with it. But that took many different attempts to get that right. The poor stuntman involved had to go off that boat a lot of times, and we actually shot it several different times during the shoot to try and get the right conditions. So yeah, there were a couple images like that were very hard fought. But for the most part, really, it's a question of just going to real places with an incredible cast and just finding things that inspire you photographically.
You have a recurring theme, that's the absent father. How do you put that focus this time in this story, The Odyssey, between Odysseus and his son?
Well, really, it's a balance in the story. I mean, people, when they think of the Odyssey, a lot of people just think of the journey, of Odysseus' journey. But what the poem is about, first and foremost, is the parallel between that journey and the coming-of-age story of his son, Telemachus, who's back home in Ithaca dealing with this absent father. And that character is played by Tom Holland. And the relationship between Tom Holland, an actor I haven't worked with before, who's absolutely incredible. And watching him work with Anne Hathaway, plays his mother, Penelope. And they're left at home for 20 years, wondering what's happened to Odysseus, wondering if he's going to come back and dealing with, terrible pressures back at home. That's really the meat of the story. That's really the sort of ticking clock, if you like, of, can Odysseus get back in time? Can this family be reunited? These are such important elements in the film. I really fully embrace them because I think they're great points of connection for an audience.
Everyone uses smart devices, but you don't. Where do you draw your inspiration?
It's true, I don't have a smartphone. I don't spend my time, looking at things online. I mean, so many of us have a computer in our pockets now. What I do, I have an old desktop computer. I sit there and I do a lot of research that way. But the fact that it sits in my office, it sits on my desk, and when I get up and leave, it's not with me, it gives me thinking time. And I value having time to just be alone with my thoughts in a way. And I think a lot of us in society with that continual connectivity, we lose a bit of time for ourselves. It's nice to have these little pockets of time to just think. That's something I need very much for my work.
Any messages for our Hong Kong audience?
Well, I very much hope they enjoy the film. I've filmed in Hong Kong before. I've been to Hong Kong several times. I absolutely love the place. It's an incredible, incredible place. And I really hope they'll find something to entertain them in this movie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nolan.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Matt. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Let's start.
All right.
Nolan's notoriously secret about his scripts, right?
Yeah.
And this is your third collaboration with him. I'd like to know, under what circumstances did you receive your first script? Because rumor has it that he delivers himself by hand
Yeah.
in red paper and
Yes.
black ink.
Yes. So I was in Germany shooting a movie with George Clooney, and I got the call that he wanted me to play a small part in Interstellar. And I said, great, send me the script. And they said, no, he doesn't do that. And so a young PA showed up the next day in Germany, where I was in rural Germany, in the Harz region of Germany. and he showed up hand carrying the script, this young guy. And it was already late at night, and I said, well, I need to go to sleep now because I'm working at 5 a.m. And so he goes, oh, okay, I guess I'll just wait. And so he waited for a day until I came back from work the next day, and then I took the script from him and I read it and then gave the script back to him.
He waited when you read it?
He waited, he waited outside the room, but he was just standing by as I read it because he was not allowed to let the script leave his
side.
His side.
Nolan said that this story is the extreme version of the poem. For you, which scene is the most punishing to shoot, mentally and physically?
I can't. I don't think I can answer that. I think it was all pretty punishing for everybody because technically to shoot on IMAX for an entire film is very, very challenging, and the crew had to really, it required a lot of people working as hard as they've ever worked to make this happen. And these locations were very hard to get to. The movie felt more like an expedition than a movie a lot of the time because we would just be out there in the open ocean, and Chris is right there with us. I mean, there was no special treatment for anybody. We were all in it together, and there was a wonderful feeling that came along with that because we knew we were the first ones to ever be doing a film, a feature all on IMAX, and also to be telling this story, which is a foundational story in Western literature and in the culture. So it was a really kind of incredible team experience.
You did mention that it was very tough and rough to film the mountain scenes because the trails are so difficult to walk. And as one of your costume is sandals, you have to wear sandals all the time. How many pairs did you break?
Well, when we would do the hikes up the mountain, I would always put my sneakers on and I would carry my shoes because those sandals weren't great to hike in. So yeah, we definitely, everyone had good footwear to get up and down the mountains. There was a lot of hiking.
What simple message do you want the audience, especially audience from Hong Kong, to feel after they saw the movie?
Great question. I think this piece of work, The Odyssey, has endured for 3,000 years. And I think because every single person connects to it in a personal way. And so I'm just excited to see the way in which that happens. I think I had a different connection to it when I was younger and I read it. And now revisiting it at my age now, it hits me in a different way. And so I think it almost depends on where people are in their own lives. But there are a lot of rich themes and there's a lot of relevance to our world today. And so I'm excited to see what people find.
Please do visit us in Hong Kong.
I haven't been in probably 10 years, and I would love to. I love it there. I love it there. I've never got. I want to get a job there so I can stay for longer. Yes, I would love to do a film there.
We love you there. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hi.
Hello there. How are you?
Hello. So, Anne, you play Penelope, the waiting mother, and Tom, your Telemachus, who's never seen his father, met his father before. I'd like to know, how do you build that bond on and off set?
I wish we had an answer.
Yeah, we're just really lucky that we just got along immediately.
Yeah.
And then what was on the page that Chris, had written for us was so rich in this relationship between the two of us that we just kind of had to sort of be ourselves a little bit.
Yeah. We're either lucky or lazy.
Yeah, it's one of the two. Yeah, who knows?
And about parenting. If you compare yourself with Penelope, are your both styles different?
We both have a temper, so it's good. It's a good thing to keep in check. But Penelope lived at a time pre-therapy, so I think that I have a better handle on mine, luckily.
Tom, you said that you want to direct one day. Working with Nolan this time, did you learn anything from him?
Oh, I mean, I could speak for hours about the things I've learned from Chris. And, it's about the thing I admire, I think, the most is his ambition and his trust in his crew. And that, lots of the times when you make movies, you hear that things aren't possible. And Chris isn't really interested in that conversation. Anything is possible in his world, and it seems to be true.
Yeah.
I think something also I really admire is that he's so incredibly prepared, but also allows himself to be free on set. You know, more often than not, we would come to set and we would figure out the blocking, and he would decide how he wants to shoot it. And he discovers the shot as the rehearsal is taking place. And I think that that's a really rare thing to find, where someone can be both prepared to the absolute maximum, but then also have the freedom and confidence to chop and change, collaborate, and pivot in the moment.
This is a question for the both of you. Can you describe to me what is a typical day like on the set of The Odyssey? Because I heard that it was very fast-paced and very precise. And do you have to prepare, or can you improvise at all?
I've never... I don't know whether or not I could speak to the entirety of the Christopher Nolan experience, but I've never found improv was necessary. The script is so complete. When we were filming the portion inside the Ithacan Palace, which was in Los Angeles, I would get picked up at 4 or 4:30 in the morning. I would, I would go through the works, get my hair, my makeup done, get into the costume, and then every single person inside the palace, and that could usually be several hundred artists, would all be standing on their marks in their costume at 7 a.m. on the dot, and we would usually be shooting by 7:05. It was, and you would shoot until we had finished the day's work, and you would go home, take a breath, hopefully get to sleep, and then wake up the next day and do it again. And we didn't know exactly what that day was going to entail, so it just kind of meant that you had to be really present with the experience and stay in a state of readiness, which was such a pleasure to do.
Because this film is a film entirely with IMAX, there are a lot of close-ups that I can see even the tiniest expression. This is a trivial question. Do you guys put makeup on? Because I can't detect any.
We wore very little. We wore very little makeup. Actually, I had Louisa Abel was the head makeup artist on this film. She is so, I've worked with her 3 times. She's so gifted. And Chris always invites her back every time. And I think part of the reason for that is because she knows how to do totally transparent makeup. Penelope goes from being a young woman to... I think, kind of in her 40s or 50s in the movie. So, and obviously she lives right by the sea. So they did put aging makeup on me. So my makeup process had a lot to do with kind of putting, kind of glue all over my face. Or it has a name, but I never learned it.
It's called Pro Bondo.
Thank you. You're so good.
I think.
There he goes. There he goes.
So
Rachel in there is shaking her head being like, he knows nothing.
What is a simple message that you want, especially for our audience in Hong Kong, to take at heart when they see this movie?
I think the message of Zeus's law. And how is it that you phrase the modern version of it?
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Exactly. I think that's a really important lesson, and something that we probably neglect a little bit in day-to-day life. I think what's so fascinating about the Odyssey is that there are so many lessons to learn from it. And it's a text that's 3,000 years old, and we're still not quite there yet. So I hope that audiences can watch the film and see the importance of that lesson and the consequences that come from neglecting that lesson. Because it would be amazing for humanity if we could all exercise Zeus's law.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. How do you prepare for these roles, goddesses?
Oh, man. I think for me, helpful to maybe understand a bit of the mythology just so that I can really understand what the principles of Athena are. What is my reasoning for showing up to Odysseus, I think being that she's the goddess of wisdom and war, that's for a reason. But also I think so much of it is in the text that we were given from Mr. Nolan. I mean, he created such a beautiful script, and being able to follow that and guide through that, and so much emphasis on that is just human beings and human experience and love and loss and redemption and reckoning with the pain that you cause others. So I think so much of it was there already.
And you go through all the emotions with Odysseus.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to face the things as he's facing them, which is like, again, it's true to the Odyssey, but it's true to this interpretation as well.
And Samantha?
I think the same in a way. It's all there on the page, but preparation for that is just making sure I'm in the right space to deliver. So that would be, without sounding strange, but just clearing out everything else so that you're completely open on the day to find the character as well as you're going, because you can have all sorts of ideas about somebody or look at somebody's past, where have they been, why the way they are, whether it's reading the Odyssey itself or poetry or looking at artwork or even music made about her or whatever. Just to not get overwhelmed by all of that and then to almost take it in and then forget about it, you know, and then be in the moment. So I didn't put too much pressure on myself without being disrespectful to the process, you know.
Zendaya, you were praised by Nolan for your performance on The Odyssey. How is this role different from your previous films?
Man, well, I've never played a goddess before. That's new. But I think this whole experience is something new. I think being on a Christopher Nolan set is unlike anything, and I feel like I've learned so much and tried my best to be as open to being a sponge as possible, because I think when you're really excited, really nervous, all those feelings, also being on a set of that scope and that scale, the awe that comes with it, I think sometimes can make you feel a little frozen. So trying to, if you can just be a little bit present and be in the moment and just soak up as much as you can, there's so much to learn on a set like this.
And for Samantha, you received a standing ovation from the cast and crew screening. It seems like your role is very interesting. Can you tell us more about that?
I don't know, really. I think it's a surprise in some ways for many different reasons, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's not just about my performance. It's about what I'm able to work with to enable me to perform those scenes. And so those heroes, they're the ones that, not forgotten, but they're not the one that's sitting here talking to you right now. So I have other people to thank.
What do you want Hong Kong audience to feel at heart after watching this movie?
That they go and watch, if they haven't already seen every Christopher Nolan film, to go and watch every Christopher Nolan film again. But just restore faith in cinema. It's this is what you get, you know.
Yeah.
It's a once in a lifetime experience of going to the cinema.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Great.
Nice to meet you. A pleasure.
It was shot in a lot of locations, right? Greece, Italy, Iceland. Which one of these locations was the most surreal for you to film in?
Surreal, that's a good one. I'd say Iceland. I mean, it was really surreal. It's an amazing landscape. It's a completely unique landscape. I don't know if there's anywhere really like Iceland. And we were shooting at night. But of course, it was around this time of year where there is no night in Iceland. What you get is this strange twilight around like 11 to 3 a.m. And that's what we needed for that. It was for the Hades sequence. And so it was very surreal. I think maybe because we were all kind of turned around because of the thing. But it just like, it messes with your head when you're like, I know it's 2 a.m., but it's it's light. The birds are chirping.
Isn't that crazy? I thought it was a filter, but I guess now you tell me there was no filter to make it look that dark.
Yeah.
And John, did you have to go to a lot of locations?
I just went to 3 locations, Morocco, Sicily, and L.A. And I've been to exotic L.A. before. But the Favignana was incredible in Sicily. It was amazing because they found this ancient castle on top of a ginormous cliff that you had to climb up every day, 40 minutes to climb up. It was not easy. And then eventually I started taking the helicopter. But they had oxen, wild boars up there, cows, 700 people of crew. It was insane.
Both of your roles, loyalty plays a very important part. How do you prepare yourself in the process of playing these roles?
Well, I use the method. That's the technique I was taught. So, you know, I transfer my feelings of my own children to Odysseus. So he becomes my surrogate child, my son. And so it's easy to put those feelings, especially when you become a father. Your heart gets bigger, you know, it grows. And every child becomes your child. So it was easy to transfer my feelings of love to Matt, who's the nicest dude in the planet.
Yeah, for me, there was a physical element to this. Chris was very upfront about the fact that it was going to be, a very physically demanding role. So, I did my best to try and prepare for that.
Which scene was the most punishing for you physically?
There were so many, but there's some of the scenes where we're trying to climb back into the boat as we're trying to run away from the Cyclops and also the Lastrygonians. That was pretty tough because trudging through the water, as soon as you hit the water in the sort of armor that we're wearing, it just would not move. And so you're trying to grab onto the boat, trying to pull yourself up. And I really relied on the other actors helping me, just getting me back onto that boat because Chris wants that peril. It's like, the boat's not going to stop moving. You can, you're going to keep going, but it's because he wants to get those moments of reality. If I slip, if I whatever, he wants that on camera, and everyone's kept safe. We've got the best stunt team in the world, but that was kind of challenging at times.
What was it working like the Odyssey set comparing to the other movies that you've been in?
Well, I mean, doing Moulin Rouge, it was a difficult movie, but because of the dancing and singing, my singing especially was very dangerous. But it was in a set. I mean, this was in real locations with semi-real peril. It was freezing cold. It was winds. You're not allowed to have your phone on set, which I love because it makes you focus. Chris runs a very tight set, and you're just doing your work, and it's about the work. It's not about diva attitude. It's not about comfort. It's about getting as much reality on film as possible, and you see it. It pays off.
What do you want the audience, especially Hong Kong audience, to feel at heart when they see this film?
I just want them to see a movie that represents the world around us in many ways, in terms of a lot of the casting, but also the themes of this story. The reason that we've been telling this story since antiquity is because it just continues to resonate with us as a species, basically, around the world. So there's something that Chris has managed to somehow take this story that we've all known for years and it just add a whole layer of depth to it, and also the achievement of just simply making this movie and achieving what they said was impossible. So
the powerful story of Homer is sort of the lessons of war. What are the lessons of war? What are the lessons of power and privilege? And how do we change as a society? Is this the Odyssey teaching us how to be better human beings? Can we ever surpass this, or are we sort of fated to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again? That's the question of humanity.
So I guess my time is up, and I just want to shake your hand. I've been a fan of yours for decades.
Thank you.
Thank
I love
you.
your work
Thanks
with
very much.
Amanda. 啱啱咧就係同完《The Odyssey》呢套戲嘅導演咧同埋主要演員咧做咗訪問啦。咁我嘅感覺咧就係，因為我睇完套戲咧，即刻可以同佢哋做訪問啦，咁樣就聽到佢哋最真實嗰個感受。咁Tom Holland 咧好年輕，但係咧講嘢咧係好有思想嘅咁。咁另外Matt Damon 啦咁樣好 down to earth 啊，我覺得佢。今次咧可以做到呢個訪問咧，我自己都覺得係好開心嘅。希望你哋都係睇得一樣咁開心啦咁。今期嘅節目咧就係嚟到呢度啦，咁大家咧要多啲 like 啦、comment、share 同埋記得 subscribe 我哋嘅 Do Show，我哋下次再見。